Hello guys, today I'm here, Nitin. Today I'm here to delivering you a new topic that is on all about market economy. So before beginning the topic, do subscribe my channel for more awesome lessons. I have already made two more lessons on economy. That was economy 1.1 and economy 1.2. So now today we are going to deliver. I'm going to deliver a new topic that is called market economy. So we will study. We have studied already market issues, and we have also studied a problem which was a central problem that is called that is a what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce. So and that was the problem just because we are having resources limited, and thus we want such kind of solutions to make solution of that problems. So it is the first part which is presented by me, Nitin Chauhan, the all about market economy. Okay, so we will study in this complete lesson what is market economy, what are the types of market economy. We will study about the market features of market economy and demerits of the market economy. What are the demerits of the market economy? Okay. So first of all, when we talk about market economy, what is the meaning of market economy? What is market economy? When we talk about market economy, what is market economy? So it is a situation of market where all decisions, uh, regarding production taken by market forces. Now here is word where that is called market forces. What is market forces? We will study it about it in detail on today. Okay, so what is market forces? When we talk about market forces, that it refers to the market demand and market supply. It always refer to market demand and market supply of that commodity. We are talking about the set a particular commodity. So if we want to determine that commodity price, so first of all we will have to check out their market demand. If there will be market demand higher, then definitely I'm having a chance to charge a higher amount for that commodity. So obviously the price of the commodity will increase. So we will study in detail in demand chapter when I will deliver the demand chapter. Okay, so what is market economy? Where the main decision regarding production mainly taken by the market force. Market force meaning what? When we talk about demand and supply. So okay, so when the demand curve and supply curve intersect to each other, that will be situation of the market equilibrium like this. Okay, so this is a demand curve. Okay, we talk about our demand, right? If the supply curve here and here, so this point could be market equilibrium, this point could be market equilibrium. Okay, so this curve is called demand curve and this curve is called supply curve. Okay, so we will study about detail in our further class. So what is market economy? It is mainly taken decision regarding production is based on market forces. What is market forces? It is always to talk about demand and supply. Okay, so what is feature? What are the features of market economy? First feature is of the market economy is private property. When we talk about property, what is the meaning of property? People have right to hold their property in any manner. We can buy a property, we can sell property, and we can do business of the property in any manner. We can use that property for their production activity. We can use that property for household activity, right? So government help to protect our rights. We know very well our rights of the property is protected by the government, and they can produce and purchase like machinery. We can purchase machinery, tools, land, mines, etc. For what? For producing goods and services. So this is just happening because of market economy. When we talk about market economy gives the rights to hold the property in any manner, and they are free to hold property and use it in any manner. I have told you already. And they can also do business of selling and purchasing property, right? And the person property is transferred when he's dead and to his successor. Could be his son, right? But under capitalism, some properties cannot be held with the private with individual, like roads, like railways, public parks. We know very well roads and railways, such kind of property which on expenses is very high, so that the individual cannot fulfill their expenditure. So it is required to take decision at a whole level. So here the government participate to make this whole thing. Okay, so such property owned by government or entire society. Second is come price mechanism. When we talk about price mechanism, it is a mechanism of price. How will the price of the commodity will determine, and the price market economy. It refers to the market force of the commodity which help to determine the price of the commodity. We have already told you, I have already told you that what is market forces is always talk about the market demand and market supply, and it also makes the margin of the production, right? We know very well market forces help to create margin of the producers, not productions, is a producer, right? And also help to promote production activity which is demanded in economy. Obviously the producer will want to produce their commodity and will want to invest their part of capital in those commodity which is demanded at higher in the economy. So it helps to producer to take decision to what commodity should be produced, because the producer having the mainly motive to getting profit, right? So he will get profit when he will produce the commodity which is demanded in the economy and which is at a lower cost, right? And a price mechanism operate many things in the economy like consumption, production, exchange, right? We know very well exchange. When I will create a separate lesson on exchange also. We will study about foreign exchange, right? And distribution, if you want to distribute anything. So price mechanism help to distribute, because the demand will be high, then definitely that commodity will be distributed automatically, right? And saving, etc. This is called price mechanism. This is the whole thing about price mechanism. When we talk about freedom of enterprises, what is freedom of enterprises? Enterprise is the person who invests their money for production activity. If he want to do production, he will come in a market and do production. He is getting profit, right? In the case of he is getting loss, he can go to outside from the market. He stop to produce goods, right? Because it is he is free to enter in the market and free to go outside from the market. So enterprise and enter the market to get maximum profit and can exit if they are getting loss, right? And they are free to take such kind of decision regarding production and regarding what commodity should be produced, right? And enterprise can take decision for what and how much to produce and where, right? If he will get profit, then obviously then that commodity will he will produce, right? So there is an enterprise free to select their occupation or profession, right? And keeping their view of resources and keeping their view of ability and keeping their view of skills, which kind of what kinds of skill it is having, he will go through that skill, okay? And what kinds of education he has gotten, so he will go that way to produce commodity so that he can get maximum profit, right? So this kind of thing is found. So a producer always having motive to get maximum profit. I already told you that. And government does not interfere in this matter because it is capitalist economy. In a capitalist economy, government does not interfere in the matter regarding production activity. You can do production, you can do production any commodity, right? Fourth is what? It is competitive and cooperation. What is competitive? Here is a numerous person who are enrolled in a production activity. They compete to each other, right? And there is another hand, there is a numerous buyer who compete to each other to get that commodity, right? A large number of producer of the all commodity almost, right? And these producers compete to each other, and labor also compete with one another for getting jobs or getting goods, right? And buyer compete one another to buy given product. What kinds of product is present available in the market? You want to buy that commodity. If you want to buy that commodity, then obviously you will be ready to pay any amount if you are getting certified from that commodity. And labor cooperation with one another and produce goods with the help of machinery. That is called cooperation. So labor does not only produce that commodity on their own. They also help to machinery. So with the help of machinery, they complete the production activity, and they compete, and competition also available in the market, and cooperation goes together, right? When we talk about profit motive, the producer always talk about profit motive. He always does production for the getting profit. And when we talk about consumer, he always talk about satisfaction, right? So every common economy want to get profit, and it's a first motive to produce commodity in a market economy, right? If someone wants to do production, he is coming in the market for just because he is willing to get maximum profit, right? So profit motive is the main thing which is found in a market economy for producing goods and services. When we talk about next point, it is called serviceability of the consumer, right? Consumer is a prime. What consumer will demand, then the producer are compelled to provide that commodity. In the market economy, consumer is considered as prime. The whole production structure is based on the what consumer demands, and enterprise produce those all commodities and services which is demanded by those all consumers, right? I have already told you. And consumers consume those all goods which provides them maximum satisfaction. I have told you in my previous lecture also कि producer always talk about maximum profit and consumer always talk about maximum satisfaction, how he can get satisfied. And consumption expenditure or decision has direct relationship between with the enterprise profit, right? How can it be possible? The consumption expenditure, if someone is ready to do expenditure, then definitely that expenditure will become the income of that producer, right? We know very well someone expenditure becomes someone's income. If the consumption expenditure is incurred at a large level, then definitely the income of the producer will increase, because someone do expenditure, then other one gets income. 7 is what? Labor as a commodity. We know very well we are undeveloped economy. In an undeveloped economy, there is a found large number of unemployment, large number of population. So there is a maximum people who are living in the undeveloped economy. They are uneducated. They are not having such kind of skills to production to do production as an entrepreneur. Like commodity and labor is also sold and brought in the market economy, because people do not know the mean of production. This is mean of production. Forget this word. This is written wrong. It is mean of production. Okay, and they are not able to work as an enterprise, right? And they are uneducated. I have told you. Thus, they had to sell their labor to earn their livelihood, because they are not having such kind of skill to produce that commodity on their own. And thus they have to sell their labor as a cheapest rate, because there are high population, right? Next is what? Self-interest. Self-interest is what? Self-interest, when we talk about as a point of view of producer, self-interest is here maximum profit. And when we talk about as a point of view of consumer, self-interest is what here? Maximum satisfaction. Right? So it is a principal guiding force which inspire us to do business, which inspire us to go to market, right? And by self-interest we meant the desire of labor and traders. I have told you, labor desires maximum satisfaction and traders desire maximum profit to get maximum satisfaction, right? So this is a self-interest. It is also part of market economy. So now we talk about what is invisible hand. When we talk about invisible hand in a market economy, invisible hand meaning what? Which is invisible before someone and help to do become market economy. So it refers to the self-interest. Refer to the only self-interest. If there is no command by government, we are talking about just government not interfering in the any activity of the production, and even individual in the economy would be guided by self-interest, right? If the individual want to do production, then obviously he will do production. He will do production for just because he wants to get profit. And if someone wants to buy that commodity, he is having such a motive to get maximum satisfied, right? I have told you that for the producer it could be maximization of revenue, maximum profit, and a consumer it could be maximization of satisfaction. Okay. So from the basket of the goods we are producing or selling, right? What kind of commodity we are producing should be satisfied to our wants, and what kind of commodity we are selling should be maximize our profit, right? So how the next topic is what? How the self-interest help to solve the central problem. Right? Here is found price mechanism. I have told you price mechanism where the demand and supply work together. So price mechanism also helps to promote the self-interest. So producer will use their part of capital for producing those all commodities which can provide the maximum profit. We are talking about producer self-interest, right? And which price tendency to rise. The producer will want to invest their part of capital in those commodity which is price is tendency to rise in the future. And due to high demand, because there is a large demand in the economy, thus the price of the commodity tendency to rise. So how to produce an economy is a use that a technology which through can cost be minimized, right? the producer will want to use that technology through which he can get maximum profit at a lower cost, right? So maximum unit of production should be produced, so that, right? And because the decreasing cost of the production, meaning increasing profit, right? So when we talk about market economy, producer prefer to produce things for those people who are having capacity to buy for their self-interest. This decision also contribute to profit maximization, right? So we have studied just advantage of market economy. Now we talk about disadvantage of the market economy. What are the disadvantage of the market economy we find? First of all, environment damage. We know very well, someone wants to do production or someone wants to buy that commodity. It's the main motive self-interest, not only social welfare. It is only mainly self-interest. If someone wants to do production, it is having only motive of getting profit. If someone wants to buy that commodity, it is having motive of getting satisfied. Both of do not understand about the expenses which is incurred by the nature, right? So environment damage is also disadvantage, biggest disadvantage of the market economy. Result with no government. It is with forget this, okay? So a result with no government regulation, because it is usually more expensive to produce in an environmentally sound manner. If you talk about environmentally sound manner, meaning what? If when the environment pay our expenditure, when environment pay our cost, that is called environmentally sound manners, right? Which reduce profit. If we talk about real profit, it is decline, because we have paid our cost through the nature, right? If someone has enrolled in their production activity like industry, they provide pollution, and due to pollution, their citizen of the people who are living to near industry, they get ill, and they have to make payments towards the doctors, right? So such kind of expenditure is done there. So this is the point which I told you, environmental damage. This is the demerits of the capital economy. If we talk about factors of production is not employed, if it is not profitable, right? If someone wants to do production having mainly motive of getting profit, if someone is not getting profit, then definitely he will not be intended to enroll in production activity, and he will stop the production. Then what will happen? How many people are enrolled in a production activity with them will lose their job, right? If someone has stopped their company, if someone has stopped their industry, so their people who are enrolled in a production activity, they will lose their job. So what is here? So factors of production is not employed if it is not profitable. In a market economy, if someone wants to increase the production, someone wants to not increase the production, someone wants to increase the employment, then direct relationship, it is having profit motive. If someone is having profit motive, then definitely their people will get employment, right? Because he will that person will enroll as a entrepreneur. If we talk about market system, may not produce certain goods and services. We talk about such kind of goods which is unhealthy for our human beings, right? Such kind of commodity which is demanded but it is unhealthy. So such kind of commodity will be produced, because producer will not think about the nature, will not think about the human beings. He will think about only profit maximization, right? So private firm will not be willing to provide certain public goods like which is essential for the livelihood, right? Like street lights, like roads, right? So because almost it is impossible to charge such huge amount from the consumer. You know very well, such kind of amount cannot charge from the consumer, right? And I have told you, free market economy may encourage harmful goods, right? It always talk about maximum profit. So if there are people who are wish to buy harmful products like drugs, the market will be ready to provide it, because it is having profit maximization. Okay. So the production, just a minute. Okay, so it is production may lead to negative externalities. What is externalities? When firm try to get maximum profit, they ignore external cost like damage to the environment. I have already told you that. This point I have already mentioned in my previous slide. Okay, so free market economy may increase the gap between rich and poor people, right? When producer and consumer are free to produce and consumes, right? So it make her richer because they are having lots of power to take decision in the market economy. So it increase the gap between rich and poor. How it will be possible? If someone are rich, they are having lots of power to determine the demand, to determine the market. So he will demand those or commodity which can fulfill their wants, not people other wants who are poor. And poor may be more poor because they are losing their power to take decision regarding production activity, because they are not having such kind of amount to pay that commodity for the producer will produce, right? So this is all about market economy. I hope you have liked this lesson, and if you like this lesson, please press the button of like and share this lesson to those people who are keen to do study. And I will do my level best to provide you all. Thank you so much for watching this lesson. Keep studying.